Hello, 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 YouTube, and welcome back to the Frog Goose playthrough of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I think, if I remember last time we played, we went ahead and... oh yeah, we went to the, holy shit, my brain is fried. Sorry, yeah, we helped with the Wookiee situations, freed them from their slaver problems, and are now making our way to Manan. But first, let's talk to everybody on this ship. See if anyone has anything new to say.
Yeah, what do you want?
More about the
war we had with the Republic was supposed to be the most glorious battle in our history. But it was a very costly one. I guess we didn't think of how much we could lose in it.
How much did you lose?
There weren't many of us after that last battle. Mandalore himself was killed at the hands of the Jedi Revan. The best of us could not defeat him. After that last battle, those of us that survived were stripped of our weapons, our armor, and our basilisks. Revan's forces destroyed them while we were forced to watch. Those who hadn't fled earlier were left with nothing to call their own. No weapons, no armor, only the honor of having fought in the battle we just lost. For many, this was not enough. While the rest of us were sent into exile on the Outer Rim, they tried to relive the old days, raiding worlds. They're nothing more than bandits now.
You found work as a mercenary?
I found word on Taris. And forcing for Davik was not stimulating. The gangs on Taris and Davik's rivals were trash. They give no thrill in battle, no honor or glory in defeating them. It was like stepping on bugs. I sought worthy challenges, but the best that Taris could offer were nothing to me. But I think now, with you, I may finally find opponents worth fighting.
There we go.
Maybe later I'll tell you more about what it was like to work for Davik. For now, though, we should get on with our lives. Is there something else?
Alright.
Yeah, what do you want?
Alright, Canderous. Any more? Nope. Alright, I'm gonna pause and while we get to the next guy. Alright, let's...
I know plenty about Kashyyyk. Chances are, by the time I finish telling you about it all, you would have found out for yourself. So there's no reason for me to start blathering on.
Yeah.
It's enough for me to tell you that there's kilometer after kilometer of trees on this planet. The deeper you go, the more dangerous it gets. If you're smart, you stay on top with the Wookiees. You go deep, however, and you may find some things you weren't expecting. And that's about all I got to say about that. Now, let's get going.
Alright.
Oh, got something on your... Oh, I get it.
I guess you didn't have anything new to say. I just realized I was still paused while we were talking to Juhani about Taris. She basically, just remembering Taris. Oh, it's okay, Juhani. No. It's alright. I think I'm over the worst of it. Apologize for lashing out at you. It was not your fault.
It was a horrible place to have to live. At least in the lower cities where the non-humans tended to get relegated. Living for years in a place with no sun, living off the trash dropped from the upper levels, and the meager pay doing back-breaking labor.
And those Rakghouls.
There was always the danger of Rakghouls coming up from the sewers, or more mundane predators living and working in the area. My family and I struggled each and every day to make something of our lives. But we could only go so far. Taxes from the corrupt government, more fees from the gangs controlling the streets, and whatever was left paying for what food and medical supplies we could afford.
Oh my god, sounds like today, actually. Holy shit. Taris sounded awful. Taris sounds like America. Was it that bad?
With no money to spare for any amenities, even the Enclave on Dantooine seems a paradise in comparison. And of course, there was the constant bigotry and hate from the more affluent and human citizens, lording their wealth over us living below. Every once in a while, a rich human would come down through the lower levels with his droid entourage just to see how the wildlife lived and laughed at the mockeries that were our successes. But
Interesting.
I have come to meet many decent humans in my travels since those days. Indeed, some of the greatest people I have ever met are human.
Like who?
The Jedi who encouraged me to join the Order. The one who was with the group going to fight the Mandalorians. She was human. I am sorry. I am getting away from my point. If there even was one. Sometimes, I curse the day my parents fled to Taris. But then again, if they had not, I would not be where I am today.
From where? Probably Cathar.
Another story for another time. For now, we must continue our own epic. To save the galaxy, if we can. How may I be of...
Huh? I'm going to pass.
I mentioned before that my parents had fled to Taris. Perhaps I can tell you about that.
Please do.
In the early days of the Mandalorian War, there had been fighting closer to the Outer Rim worlds.
Near the world your species came from?
Cathar was there, yes. My people had a great reputation as warriors, and that appealed to the Mandalore version of honor. They sought to test themselves against us, I think. Test themselves by bombing our world, slaughtering my people while they slept or while they ran.
How did it happen?
They swooped down from space across the world, firing at anything that moved. They used ships in space to destroy all orbital facilities and bombard the surface. We did resist, and in spite of their violent attack, we did stave them off for quite a while. But in the end, we were doomed. We were not members of the Republic. Cathar was beyond the edge of the Republic, in the Outer Rim. And besides, they could not have known. Our interstellar communications were the first things the Mandalores hit. All other short-range communicators were jammed. We were on our own. We knew what was coming. We had fought the Mandalorians in the first war against Exar Kun and the Sith. We knew there would be no mercy for us. The most we could do was pack the few of our people who survived onto what few ships remained and send them off into space as fast as they could. Most did not make it.
You survived.
My parents carried me as a baby with them, and were lucky enough to escape. They fled as far as they were able, and eventually settled on Taris. They could stand running no further, I think. But Taris was a horrible choice. Dominated by humans, intolerant of other species, it made everyday life unnecessarily hard.
So, I'm sitting here thinking, we hear here from Juhani that the Mandalorians were brutal, merciless, evil people who slaughtered innocents and people and really didn't fight very honorably. They fought wars as wars, not honor-based, which kind of makes sense with the little bits we hear from hear from Candace. Like, there are honorable Mandalorians who will fight face to face, but most of the Mandalorians we have seen and heard from other people is Mandalorians cutting off a planet from any other force of income and then proceeding to bombard the planet before going in to slaughter the native inhabitants. That's from what I've seen, so like, it seems like the majority of Mandalorians were just assholes.
My father turned to stimulants. He spent much of his time in local bars and dives. But we are warriors. It runs through our blood. And when he was on stims, he became foolish. He let his warrior nature get the best of him. So he would get intoxicated, and he would fight. And finally, one day, he would die.
He died?
Killed by a man who provoked him into a fight and killed him like an animal. I am sorry. I cannot talk about this any longer right now.
Oh.
How
Or?
may I be of assistance?
Doing alright?
I have been doing well, I suppose. Do not mistake me.
Okay. Seems I know nothing. What do you want to know?
We have been traveling together since Dantooine, but I know nothing of you before that. Would you humor me and tell me a little bit about yourself?
Of course.
Your job, your childhood, your life? I am sorry if I am making you...
No, it's alright.
I greatly appreciate your taking the time to talk to me. How did you come to be on Dantooine? Besides the obvious, of course.
Arrest Basil after.
It always seems to come back to Terrace for me.
Ask
I am
about
sorry.
it. Holy
I get distracted. What did you do before that?
The scout for the public
A life in
force.
the army. Not my career of choice, though. We Cathar cannot seem to adjust to regimented organizations like the military. But I have heard that it appeals to males of your species. Fighting, defending. That is what we as Jedi seem to be called upon to do. Perhaps we are not as unalike as I had previously thought. But again, I seem to be wasting your time with my carrying on. I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have been watching you for some time. I wonder if you have noticed. I have been thinking of how far I had fallen, and how you exemplify the code of the Jedi. I find myself ashamed.
Should not be so hard on yourself.
But I have so little to show when I compare myself to you, and that makes my shame even worse. That I had so easily fallen to the dark side, that I could convince myself that by injuring my master, I became a great force of evil in the galaxy for my pride, my hubris, for the inner rage that all of my species feels. Sometimes I wish that I had not been born this way.
Should not think that way.
I am sorry. I start to talk, thinking about how you stay strong to the path of virtue and justice, and I find myself whining again about my own inadequacies. The Council would be proud to see that you had learned your lessons so well.
Aw, thank you.
How may I be of a...
Talk.
Of course.
Alright. Guess she's done for now. I will pause while I go find the next person to talk to. I don't think there's anyone else, really. Nah, I guess not. So let's... well, maybe. Maybe Zalbar has something. Let's take Baka's sword. Can't stay on Kashyyyk longer. Let's get going. I will follow. Yeah, he doesn't say much. I'm gonna pause real quick while I figure out what to do next. Alright, I was traveling to Tatooine and we got some new stuff.
Calo Nord is dead, Lord Malik. He has failed in his mission. Forgive me.
The penalty for failure is death, Admiral Kareth. But the failure was Calo's, not yours. You may rise.
Shall I hire another bounty hunter, Lord Malik?
No mere bounty hunter can stand against a Jedi. I shall not make the same mistake again. My apprentice, Darth Bandon, shall take care of our young Jedi friend.
Ooh. Oh, this guy. Rude. He's also bald. Malik really likes his bald people.
Find Bastila and bring her to me, alive if possible.
As you command, Master.
And here we come back to Tatooine. Pause while we get back to the spot we needed to go to. I also have to check to see if the Juhani has her stuff yet. It doesn't look like she does. When do I get... When do I unlock her stuff? But,
Yeah?
level you up. Alright, and we're back. We're in the Zerka offices because we gotta tune drift stuff.
I knew you'd come through for me. I knew I could count on you.
Here's Techland, take it.
Come to Papa, you sweet simian organ. It may not look like much, but once I turn this into a bottle of Torresian ale, it'll end up being worth a fortune. Thanks, Mission. You won't regret helping me out with this.
Please, Griff, let this be the last time. No more cons, no more scams, no more schemes. That's all I ask.
Hey, sis, no need to worry about that. I've turned over a new leaf. From now on, I'm gonna stay out of trouble and do things right. And once we've cornered the market on Torresian ale, good things will be heading my way. Then I'll make it up to your Mission. Just wait, you'll see. You know, once we synthesize this and start brewing Torresian ale in mass quantities, we're gonna be looking for some investors. You give me a couple of 100 credits, and I can get you in on the ground floor. You'll get a return of, oh, at least 20 times your investment.
Okay, here's
Wise
20.
move. I can see you really understand how business works. Now, I better get started on...
Alright. We did the thing. Is that all done? Alright. So he's in debt to us now. How long do you think? I think we have to leave the planet and come back. I don't know. Alright, so we only need to leave and come back. So let's check it out. Oh, he hasn't even left the office yet. There it goes.
I don't like the sound of this.
What kind of mistake? You mean he's gone? Yep. Cheapsteak goes me credits. Yeah, probably.
Damn it, Griff. Won't you ever learn? How can my own flesh and blood be so stupid?
Oh, I find that man. His liver's mine. We're taking his liver. No, he seems like a guy to spend all his money on drinking. Never mind. He has bad liver. We can't even have his stories. They're probably all bad. Rain, obviously not that good. It's a slime ball. But I will see you all when we reach. What else do we got? What else can we do? Juhani. We might have more to talk with them. Quest for the Starforge. HK. That's going to take place on Manon, which is our next destination. And then we got to find Dustle for that. We don't really have much else to do. Really. We've done everything else. So I'll see you all when we get to... When we talk to someone who wants to. Like, maybe the old man has something to say. I'll see you then. All right, we started a cutscene.
Excuse me, have you seen a mechanic about? Short fellow, bald. I've been looking.
Well, I'll be a Wookiee's uncle. Davin Coatress?
Jolee? Jolee Bindo? Why, you old freak. Last time I saw you, you were still wandering the galaxy in that old tug. I thought you were dead, old man.
I crashed somewhere and decided to stay.
Yeah, I'll just bet. Damn, old man, you look exactly the same as the last time I saw you. You pickle well.
You're too kind. Not the young lad anymore yourself, I see.
Isn't she your friend, Jolee?
What are you, deaf? His name's Davin. Old friend from my wanderer days. By the by, Davin, I really should be running off.
Of course, old man. Oh, wait. If you've been traveling in this sector, I suppose you heard about Sunry?
No, why? What's there to hear?
He's been picked up by the Selkath authorities on Manan for murder.
That's preposterous.
I know. Laura is beside herself, as you can imagine. Maybe you could help them. I'm sure Sunry would appreciate a Jedi's assistance right about now.
Perhaps I will at that. It's up to my friend here, actually. I'm just tagging along.
You check into it when we're on the
I'd appreciate that. Sunry's an old friend. I'd hate to see him hurt.
Same here. Well, it was good to see you again. Give my regards to Alora if you see her.
I will. Be safe, old friend.
Sorry if you hear a lot of stuffy noises of me just kind of spewing gunk and shit. I've been kind of sick for the past couple days, so that's why my memory's been kind of fried, a lot of other stuff. But, there we go. But I will see you all for the next conversation piece. Alright, we got some stuff to talk to Jolee about. Why'd you decide to come with me?
You got yourself a fast little ship? I'd forgotten what engine sounded like. The closest thing to that on Kashyyyk is an Uller in mating season. Oh, frightful. Or it could be for the free food. What's the gunk that comes out of the synthesizer on this bucket anyway? Do you never clean the darn thing? I'm old, damn it. I'm allowed to be enigmatic when I want to be. And don't you go telling me otherwise. You know, you remind me of someone else I knew ages ago. Pleasant enough fellow, great destiny, all of that. Breath like a bantha.
Coming on my breath.
Oh, but it could be. An Anduvian salt tablet would clear that right up, you know. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. Andor Vex was his name. The Force swirled around him like a hurricane. That's how great his destiny was.
Never heard of him.
No, you wouldn't have. Sometimes swirling force is just swirling force. It gets us old Jedis excited at our age, so we go, ooh, destiny. Well, it turned out that poor Andor believed a wee bit too much in the infallibility of that destiny. That overconfidence turned out to be his downfall.
They're supposed...
I don't know. Are you overconfident? I hadn't noticed. Even if I had, I would never comment on it. We're talking about Andor, remember? Let's see. Oh yes, Andor's downfall. I was pretty young myself when it happened. At the time, I thought that Andor's destiny couldn't be more boring.
How young are we talking?
Well, let's just say that I was a strapping young lad with a full head of hair, and Coruscant was a small town with a well. I was just about to abandon Andor to whatever the Force intended for him when his ship was overtaken by a Dimian warship. Now, you've probably never heard of the Dimians, but at the time they were a nasty lot led by a nastier overlord named Krat. Tall fellow, big teeth. Krat has us hauled onto the bridge of his ship for questioning, and that's when I knew that Andor's destiny was at hand. Of course he did. Haven't you been listening? was not in the way you'd probably expect, though. Well, Andor decides that his destiny makes him invulnerable and starts making all sorts of demands. Free me now. I'm not answering questions. Blah, blah, blah. Don't you know who I am? Yeah. Krat decides he's had enough and begins crushing Andor's neck. I told the boy he should have kept his mouth shut. I think he agreed, too, or this could have just been gurgling noises.
Oh, man.
Anyway, finally, Krat has enough of Andor and tosses him aside into this giant energy intake shaft. Andor gets sucked in and starts bouncing around, screaming. Maybe Andor hit something sensitive on the way down, or just didn't agree with the reactor core. Next thing I know, all the ship's alarms are ringing.
You're kidding.
Everyone panics, and I run, barely making it to the ship in time before the explosion. Krat dies horribly, and the Dimians never quite recovered. Changed the political course of the entire sector for centuries to come. I'd call that quite a destiny, wouldn't you?
How can you be sure?
What? Are you kidding? What are the odds of that happening anyway? 1,000,000,000 to 1? You should do so well as to be sucked into the engine of some evil Sith Lord, you know. Andor was a hero. Sort of. Anyway, go on. My throat is dry and you're making me cranky. Shoo!
You're making me cranky. Alright, you got more?
Something on your...
Jolee. Alright, but we got his son request, which is a very important quest. Let's see what you have to say.
How may I be of assistance?
Anything? No. Guess she is done. The only person I guess we really talk to right now is Jolee, so let's do a lot of that. Just exit. I think the only one we don't have quests for are these two. And we don't get her quest in his quest until after Leviathan.
What?
But I'll see you on the next talking. Alright, we got more to talk to him about.
No, I never did I?
Well, I don't have... See, this is elusive.
Elusive? Me elusive? Obviously, you've never tried to grab a Twi'lek dancing girl after drinking too much Onderan Willick juice. At any rate, I already told you why I wanted to leave. I'd seen everything I wanted to on Kashyyyk. Time to go. Time to move on.
Move on to where?
To bed. I'm old and tired, you know.
Oh, really?
How many kilometer-high trees can you find an interest in before you figure you've had enough? I'd bet you can't be bothered to stay in one room for more than 15 minutes. And then there's all the critters and the Shadowlands. I'm just happy to be back in space, doing something new. Is that too much to ask? So I could. Well, not having a ship does tend to put a damper on that kind of idea, however. I'll admit, for all its flaws, Kashyyyk was home enough. But when you came along and I saw the destiny you had before you, I couldn't help but
Old man and destiny. Ooh, destiny. You know what my destiny is?
Of course not. Weren't you listening last time? I can see that you have a destiny before you, but the details are far from clear. In fact, everything about you that I can see is odd. Slightly off, as if my eyes are trying to trick me. Something is very dark about you. But, I'm sure you don't need to hear my ruminations. You've probably got enough nosy Jedi offering you one opinion after another to make you sick.
Tell me more of what you see.
Your future will come of its own accord, trust me. Sometimes navel-gazing at it doesn't get you anywhere. I wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you. You remind me a bit of Nomi. That can't be all bad.
Who's
Nomi, Sunrider. She came late to the Force, just as you have, and became one of the greatest Jedi ever. Oh, fine, fine lass. Whether you'll follow the same path remains to be seen. For one thing, we'll never get anywhere if you stand around chatting up old men all day.
Hey.
Nonsense. If I ever refused to help you when you asked, how confused can one person be anyway? One thing I will say is that this little escapade does remind me a bit of my adventuring days before the war. Those were exciting times. Or at least it would remind me of those times if we didn't stand around. What's keeping you? You're too...
Man. He might have more. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll get all answers from him. We're gonna interrogate the old man. Alright, and we're back again with more from Jolee Bindo.
Did I say that? Strange the tricks memory plays on you when you get older.
You weren't in
Didn't I say that my past was my affair? You don't see me poking and prodding you with questions, do you?
Because you're too old. Old people won't prod with questions. They want to tell me about their old stuff. So much I'm curious.
I'm not here to satisfy your curiosity. No staring at the old man. That's what the sign says, damn it. Besides, we're going to
interrogate the shit out of you.
We're talking ancient history. Probably before you were born. History bores kids. Proven fact.
Not me. I love ancient history. Yeah, well, old people love to talk about his proven fact.
Oh, fine. Have it your way. Just don't cry about it later. Yes, I was an adventurer. Happy now? I wasn't even done with my Jedi training back then. I had a full head of hair and an eagerness to see absolutely everything. Sound familiar? The Council was never happy with willful, brash Jolee Bindo, you see. Even less so when I began my smuggling career.
Oh my god. He was a smuggler.
Don't look at me like that, damn it. I wasn't always the wrinkled coot I am now, you know. I can still fight, too. So wipe off that smirk I see there. At the time, the LucaArts system was interdicted by its own king. He preferred to keep his people starving and poor, all the better to oppress them. The Senate was trying to negotiate a peace, but they were getting nowhere as usual. I decided I wasn't going to wait. I found myself a ship and a partner, and we began smuggling food and supplies to the LucaArts citizenry through the blockade.
Was it very dangerous? You get the credits
Well, we
for all
didn't buy all the equipment per
Oh
se.
my god.
Some were happy to donate goods. Some we just
He's a thief, too.
knew had more than they could use.
He's a thief.
Stole is such a harsh word. They would have donated those goods readily enough if they were compassionate. I considered it a tax on the greedy. We only got caught once. A lone LucaArts frigate shot us down and forced a crash landing. I thought the Force had abandoned me, as I remember.
What happened then?
Well, as it happens, getting shot down turned out to be very fortunate. That day was the day
Well,
that was the day I met my wife.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. When you're digging through the trash, you shouldn't be surprised when you encounter something unpleasant. If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer to stop talking now. My mouth is starting to draw flies.
Oh. It's okay, guy. Alright, I'm back. I just had to say something before we continue with the conversations. T3M4 and HK47. Yes, HK47, probably one of the best companions in the game. Not for battle-wise or combat-wise, he's pretty bad in that, actually, for a combat droid. It's for his backstory and his just personality-wise. He's, like, considered one of the best characters in this. But they're all pretty well, all the characters in this were really well balanced. But most of them are really well balanced in combat-wise. The droids, T3M4 has some of the worst feats in skill tree leveling up out of all of them. He can't get full dual wield. He gets like barely any combat feats. He gets like nothing. And kind of the same with HK47. Yes, he has automatic repair everything. He gets a natural combat, like a natural +6 to his armor class, which is good, I guess, but basically it's natural armor +6, but in the end, that's not really that good. And not to mention, they have their own specific armor sets and stuff, meaning they can't use some of the armors and stuff we get. Meaning they're pretty bad to use in general for combat. The human characters and the Wookiee specifically, the soldier class gets so many feats, so they're like the best out of everybody here for combat. So, and Zalbar is just Zalbar. He has, like, his stats just kind of make him good. He's a stat stick. You give him good weapons, good armor. Well, he doesn't even wear armor, so he has to make up for that in good health and stats and everything. He's gonna get hit, but he has so much health it doesn't matter. He'll kill something before it kills him. And Canderous is just really strong in combat. He's like one of our strongest characters, but he's evil, so you don't want to use him too much in combat. So I'd say one of the best, like, non-Jedi people to have for is Karth. Karth is so versatile because he's a soldier, so he gets feats every level. You can build him however you want. I've already run out of feats really to give him, so I've just been giving him implants. So now he can... I think he already has level 3 implants, so he can just wield any implant he wants as well. Same as me. It's just such a good class for, like, combat. But for roleplay-wise, it's god-awful. For powers-wise, the Guardian is not that good. Juhani is, like, good for combat because she gets feats every level as well, I believe. As well as force powers every level, so... So a good actual class would be to start as a soldier. You're not really good at persuading people, but... Well, it's good for dark side, because in dark side you're not really persuading much. You're going to get into a lot of fights for dark side points. You're good with credits, you get to a lot of other stuff. You're just the comically evil guy, but you're really good at stuff, and you also have powers to make up for it, to make you better in combat. For light side, it's always recommended to go the more persuasive build with just kind of a... You go scout for the extra skill points, and generally the implants, so you have more resistances and stuff, so you can resist those dark side powers when you fight them. Scout in general is good to just get to level 8. It's a good beginner class. But this rant's going on too long. But as I was saying, the droids have been fairly underutilized in this game. I kind of forgot how underutilized they were. Because I remember when I was a bit younger, I used HK-47 a lot because of how cool he was in lore, but he wasn't that good. And then when I was even younger, I used a bunch of just double Jedi. Like, everyone's a Jedi because I'm a kid. I love Jedis. It is a normal thing. But, I remember KOTOR 2 being a bit more... How do I say it? A bit more... easier? KOTOR 2 is an easier game in general, and it's much more in-depth with the character building than it is on KOTOR 1. But we'll get to that when we get to KOTOR 2. But for now, let's go talk to Jolee again. You got more for us? Wife?
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, you spit
Now,
out.
that's a unique method of getting someone to talk. Thunder about like a bantha in a circuit shop. Does that work for you often?
Yes.
Let me tell you something. Once you've lived as many years as I have, you'll have yourself a long, long list of memories. If you're lucky, most of them will be good. If you're not, some will be bad. If you're really unlucky, some will be so bad you'll never want to be reminded of them again, ever. You'll go far away to a place that doesn't hold any memories at all. And there you'll be happy just to forget and be forgotten.
We'll never do that. I want to hear the story, what you have to say.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in love? Truly in love, I mean, and not simple infatuation.
Well...
Exactly. You're still at the beginning of your life. There will be women in your life, perhaps many women. But if you're fortunate, you'll find love once. The Jedi, with their damnable sense of over-caution, would tell you love is something to avoid. Thankfully, anyone who's even partially alive knows that's not true.
That's what I've always
Love
thought.
doesn't lead to the dark side. Passion can lead to rage and fear, and can be controlled. But passion is not the same thing as love. Controlling your passions while being in love, That's what they should teach you to beware. But love itself will save you, not condemn you. Listen to me go on as if I had all the answers. What do I know of love anymore? I'm just a lonely old man who's not even a Jedi.
Like, love is something you should have... I want to hear what you have to say!
Do you? I wouldn't listen too closely. I'm no authority on anything. I just think that the greatest things in life shouldn't be avoided because they come with a few complications. Love causes pain, certainly. Inevitably, love is going to lead to as much sorrow and regret as it does joy. I suppose there are perfect eternal loves out there, but I haven't seen any. And how do you deal with the bad part of love is what determines your character. What determines the dark side's hold over you.
You don't think love can work?
I suppose it could. Would take a strong person to make that kind of commitment, I think. Someone with a great sense of self. I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you and the one you love simply aren't meant to be together. The trick is to know when that is. To know when it's time to fight and when it's time to part ways. There I go, waxing philosophical again. Somebody blast me already. Let's get going before I start talking in riddles, damn it.
Ah! Getting actual information about him is hard. Alright, I'll see you when it's done. When we get more out of him. Alright, and we're back. Why'd you leave the Jedi?
Who said I left the Jedi?
You did? You said you weren't a Jedi any longer.
Technically, I was only a Padawan. Not that that makes a difference to most, but as for the Order itself, no, I never left it. It left me.
I mean, it left...
You know what I hate? Well, lots of things really, but I'm old and easily annoyed, but that's besides the point. What I really hate are how most people view the Jedi. Everyone thinks that the Jedi are perfect, that they can do no wrong. They think the Jedi Council is completely incapable of injustice.
You think that when you're younger, when you're older, you realize that the Jedi have plenty of flaws. Especially how they teach themselves. They teach them... The way they teach it is they never really experience the Jedi to negative dark side stuff, so it leads to corruption and stuff when they do experience it finally in life. We'll get to that after we're done with this conversation, but there's a big conversation I want to have with how the Jedi Order runs things. I certainly don't think that.
I guess you aren't as stupid as you sometimes act.
Hey.
No doubt you've been on the receiving end of Jedi justice at least once, eh? And I'm not even talking about how some of us fall to the dark side. No, that's plenty indication of our fallibility. But it's something else entirely. No, I'm talking about how more than often not, your average robe-wearing Jedi can try to do the right thing and still be completely wrong.
Get it, what do you mean?
I suppose I'm not being very clear, am I? Come to think of it, I don't have to be clear. Someone my age is entitled to ramble, damn it. But for your sake, I'll try to explain. I'll tell you a little tale about a Jedi master I once knew. Hortath, I think. Or was it Hortoth?
I just smacked my mouth.
I could never get it straight.
Go on, I'll listen.
Where was I then? Oh yes, Master Hortath. He was a kindly old Jedi who meant well. But the most nearsighted thing in the Corps, I swear. He would walk into walls, knock over tables, mistake apprentices for rancor beasts, that sort of thing.
Oh.
And he was too proud to submit to proper treatment. Some used to counsel him in the urge to use the Force, Master Hortath. Allow the Force to see for you. But he refused to believe that his eyes were failing. He simply squinted more and more as the years went on. The other Jedi resignedly passing it off as the amusing quirk of a compassionate old man. I'm not finished yet. Now shush. So, one day a young Padawan meets Master Hortath in the courtyard and, not knowing of his blindness, asks him for directions to the council. Quite sure of himself, Hortath gave the lad directions, which happened to lead back outside and away from the Enclave. The Padawan is confused, naturally. He asks if Master Hortath is sure, and of course Master Hortath says that he is. The Padawan suggests that perhaps he should ask someone else. But the proud Hortath now feels insulted. He tells the Padawan to take the route he prescribed and no other. Rather dejectedly, the Padawan did as he was told, and so ended up leaving the Jedi Order forever. It was decided that the boy's fate was to leave the Order anyway, though whether that was out of respect for Hordath or because the boy went on to something else, well, we'll never know.
What does the Padawan leaving the Order have to do with the Jedi leaving
Not
you?
much. I never knew the Padawan nor met Master Hordath himself. He was before my time.
I don't
The tale is
understand.
about blindness, and I thought the point was clear. At any rate, you think about it. You're the one who asked why the Jedi left me, remember? Now let's get going. My feet are
Oh my
itching for
god,
a
you
good
just
run.
gave me a story about an old man named Master Hordath. And didn't even give me a I guess it could be a proper lesson about how the blind and pride can lead someone to making big mistakes. But I'll see you all in the next conversation, if there is another.
Got something on your mind?
You didn't see that. What do you know about the Sith?
Bad men. Women too, to be fair.
There's no more than that.
Oh, indeed. They make a fine sandwich also.
Hey,
But don't tell the Jedi Council I said that.
know anything important about the Sith or not?
And just what gave you the impression that I know anything more about the Sith than you do?
You're old.
Oh, that's right. Damn the years of the young. I was expecting you to be your usual inattentive self when I met
Hey!
you, Dad. So it's true, yes. I fought plenty of Sith. That was during the time of Exar Kun. Oh, 40 years ago now. Has it been that long?
Yeah. Same Sith that we're fighting, but now?
No, of course not. The Sith have come and gone for ages. They were not called the Sith many thousands of years ago, perhaps. But the dark side was always present, without a doubt. Oh, sure, occasionally the light side comes close to vanquishing the dark. But the dark always returns. The fact that Exar Kun was defeated didn't mean the Sith
Ah,
would
man,
never
I just
return,
realized something
as they
big.
obviously have now. Everyone knows that.
Who is this Exar?
Exar was a Jedi who was corrupted by ghosts of the old Sith, or so they say. He attempted to conquer the Republic and create a new golden age of the Sith.
He was
Better
killed.
to say he was defeated, but essentially, yes. The victory did not come easily, however.
Tell me what you know about the
A
Sith.
Sith believes he commands the Force, but it is the dark side who commands him. You know this. There is little else I could truly add.
Who is Exar Kun? No.
That is not a pleasant time to remember. After Exar Kun fell to the dark side, he attempted to recruit other Jedi to his cause. What surprised us, what took us completely unprepared, was how utterly successful he was. Many Jedi joined him and became Sith themselves. Why they did, I will never truly know, but they did. Battle broke out throughout the Order, pupil against master. We fought ourselves.
Must have been difficult.
Yes, more than difficult. Next to impossible. How do you fight against someone you love? I dislike such memories. It leaves a taste in the mouth that... it is a sadness I thought I had put aside long ago. Ask me about the war some other time, just not now. I would prefer to be by myself for now.
Oh. I'll be right back until I get everything I can out of him. I just realized I never really gave my explanation of how I see the Jedi. So, the Jedi of the Old Republic and the modern Jedi we see in the movies are very flawed. Their teachings are flawed. They teach a way of controlling all emotion to never really change that thinking. When in actuality, I believe it's explained in Legends more, that the power of truly powerful emotions is what controls the Force the best. That's why the dark side is such an easy route to power, because you're giving into your deeper, darker emotions. But in actuality, the opposite is true as well, so truly good emotion also gives equal amounts of power. So, like, let's say, he is right, controlling the passion that comes with love probably should be taught more so than ignoring all love and ignoring all emotion. It just works better than, let's say, like, how do I explain it? Being able to control the sadness that comes with the loss of love is what should be taught. Not that you shouldn't feel it at all. No, that's not feasible. That's why there's so much conflict and so much whatever. But another thing he was talking about in the last conversation we had was how there's always darkness. Always. It just made me thought of a little phrase that I hear sometimes is, the brighter the light, the more dark there is, because the shadow cast by said light gets larger. Which kind of makes sense. The more that the light side wins, there will always be darkness. That's why balance is important. There should always be an equal amount of darkness and light. Otherwise, you basically will never have one or the other. Which makes me think of another theory I had long ago, that maybe at the beginning of like this Force stuff, the first Jedi, first Sith, they weren't called Sith or Jedi. I think we'll learn about that later but the first Force beings didn't care about the light or the dark. They used both sides. They just kind of used either, but it was just kind of forged throughout life. Use of the dark side was just seen as more evil, and the light side is good, so it just kind of made it kind of push that both sides were bad. But one was bad, one was evil, so it just kind of made it natural to extinguish one, which was the dark side, which gave an eternal hatred for the Jedi and the dark side. The dark side for the Jedi. Because usually, like, there's always something that turns someone evil and then turns them against the Jedi. It's either a higher being of Sith that goes around and tells the Jedi, "Kids, be evil, kill that man. The Jedi are bad. They withhold your power. They make you weak. You'll lose everything. Blah blah blah." Oh god, can't do my evil voice. Too much sickness. AKA Palpatine to Anakin. But then you have moments of where, let's say a dark Jedi who uses the dark side of the Force, not necessarily tainted by a higher being, or Force good, dark side ghost, or whatever. See, that would have been like the original stuff, like, oh, look at these powers I have. They are not necessarily the kindest powers. I suck the life out of things. I shoot lightning out of my hands. There's no real... Well, shooting lightning out of your hands could be used to power things. That could have been helpful, I guess, but who knows? It's just darkness. The dark side of the Force has always been portrayed as evil. What if it's not? What if it's always been natural to... If the best part of a Jedi is just learning both sides. The gray Jedi, like this guy here, Jolee Bindo, he's a gray Jedi. He doesn't give too much into the dark side or too much in the light. He learns both sides. You can teach him both sides of the Force without much penalty. Just standing there looking at me. But if you go too far down the dark side, we'll show in the dark side playthrough of this. He doesn't like that. But, we're getting off track again. Let's get back to...
Got something on your mind?
Talk about the war now?
Not particularly.
We're talking about
I suppose you're going to nag me until I cough it up, aren't you? Nothing is private anymore, it looks like.
Nope.
There's no escaping it, I guess. So be it. My wife's name was Neyama. She was the Yukatis enforcer who shot me out of the sky, if you remember. My wife had plenty to do with the war. Upon meeting her, I knew right away that she was strong in the Force. That's why she was able to shoot me down. Neyama was a marvel of a woman. Fiery, determined, smart. She dragged me to the capital and foiled 3 of my attempts to escape prison. Oh, and that body.
Oh my. A war?
Well, yes, that. Needless to say, I eventually won her over. That was after I kidnapped her upon being broken out of the Yukata's prison, mind you. But, that's another story entirely. At any rate, I wanted to trade
we'll
her
hear that
the
later.
Jedi way. The council refused my request, naturally. I was still a Padawan at the time. I was an experienced Padawan, surely, but not yet ready to be a full Jedi, and certainly not ready to train another, especially not one so old as my wife.
You disobeyed the Jedi.
I did. I wasn't the first, and I won't be the last. The problem with self-righteous folk is they think they're more right than everyone else. I believed in her and trained her in secret. I ignored her willful nature. I loved her too much to see fault in her.
Yeah, there's
she
the fault
loved me
love.
too. I know she did. At the time, our love was a shared bliss, better than anything I had known before or since.
So what happened?
Exar Kun is what happened. Neyama was inspired by Exar's promises of a new golden age. She wanted to join him. She came to me, pleading with me to throw aside what she called the decrepit trappings of the Jedi, to join her in Exar's war. I hadn't thought so, not right then. I was too proud to believe that of her. I had trained her myself. I loved her. I pleaded with her to reconsider, to think about all that she was throwing away, to think about what she would become. She would have none of it. Finally, in frustration, she attacked me. She drew her lightsaber and attempted to strike me down. It was a scene being repeated everywhere throughout the galaxy. Pupil against master. In my case, it was a long and terrible battle, but I defeated her.
Killed her?
No. I had her at my mercy, disarmed and defenseless. She looked up at me and she knew. She knew I couldn't do it.
I don't think I could have either.
But I should have. Sometimes I convince myself otherwise, but it's no use. She had fallen to the dark side when she raised her saber against me, and I let her go. To my shame, she went on to kill many Jedi during the war, until she herself was slain in the final battle. I grieved for her death, inevitable as it was, even as the Jedi Council put me on trial for my actions once the war was over.
Put you on trial?
I had trained Neyama against their wishes. I had failed to kill her when I had the chance, and she went on to kill others. Not to mention that I had remained a Padawan throughout the war. A formality, perhaps, but with a trial, it had to be decided if I was worthy to become a Jedi at all. It was a travesty, of course. I told you that even the Jedi were capable of great injustices, didn't I?
We found you. You don't. So you think you didn't deserve to be punished?
Not at all. They found me innocent, even though I deserved every punishment and more. They let me go. Mitigating circumstances, they said. I deserved compassion, they said. They said I had learned wisdom the hard way. For all I had done during the war, they wished to raise me to full Jedi status at long last. That was when the Jedi left me. That was when they failed me. No, maybe you don't at that. They may have been able to forgive me. I could never forgive myself.
Believe love is worth risk?
Yes, I do, I suppose. Does that surprise you? It is all so long ago, lost in the winds, I suppose. Nobody cares what an old man believes anymore, do they? Let's continue on with the task at hand. I would...
Yeah, that is a very, sad story, actually.
Got something on your mind? Oh.
Yeah, his story is a long and tiring one. We still got more for him? Oh, we still could ask him more. We got more to talk to him about, or do we have to finish Manon to finish talking to him? We might have one more to talk to him, and then I'm probably gonna end. We might have one.
Got something on your...
Ah, here we go. When do you go to
that was
Sheik?
not until many years later, to tell the truth. I spent quite some time wandering the galaxy.
Jedi just let you go?
Why wouldn't they? I had refused my promotion to Jedi. I was a Padawan who had left the Order, nothing more. I traveled from one civilized system to the next, never staying long. I don't even think I knew what I was searching for. It wasn't as if my travels were pleasant either. There were plenty of folks who distrusted the Jedi after the war, or worse.
What could be worse?
If people weren't treating me with suspicion, they were looking at me with greed. I don't know how many thought they could make use of me for their own ends. I got so sick of the treachery and deceit. I left the civilized parts of the galaxy and headed instead for the uncivilized parts.
That's when you meant to...
Actually, I was on my way somewhere else when I crash-landed on Kashyyyk. The ship I was using was a rust bucket.
They're crash landing on Kashyyyk?
I'd taken some damage passing through an unexpected asteroid field, as I recall. But I wasn't completely without some systems. I could still guide her a bit when I crashed. It wasn't what I would call the smoothest landing, especially considering I ended up smack at the depths of the Shadowlands. But I lived.
Why didn't you just fix your ship and you crash instead?
Sure, why not? Seemed like an interesting enough place to spend a couple of decades exploring.
You survived the Shadow.
That was a challenge at first. You've seen the kind of creatures that exist down there. And you miss the really big ones. I was still able to rely on the Force to keep me safe for the most part. The rest of the trick is keeping out of the way of most of the predators. No, that's true. Still, most of the creatures grow accustomed to me, and I to them. At least none of them ever heard of a Jedi.
Wookiees didn't mind your presence?
They did at first, oh yes. I can't say I was overly pleased to encounter a group of indigenous giant carpets either, I can assure you of that.
Did you fight them?
No. I was the intruder in their land, after all. They got to trust me well enough after a couple of decades of my aid.
Help them?
When I could, I would assist a few young ones who would get lost in the Shadowlands or attacked unexpectedly by the wildlife. I must say, for a while there, the Wookiees actually thought I was some kind of benevolent forest god. Amusing, really. I set them straight eventually.
Why didn't you stop the slavery of the Wookiees?
At first, when the slavers took to hunting down lone Wookiees in the fringes of the Shadowlands, I did my best to divert them. Later, when Shundar made his deal, I didn't see any point. I wasn't here to save them from their own sad follies, after all. Nonsense. I had no idea that's what they were thinking for a long time. I just thought they were being friendly neighbors, leaving fruit and such for me. Later, when I started to understand some of their grunting, I realized they would say prayers to the Hairless One before descending into the forest. Hairless One. Used to have plenty of hair, I tell you. At any rate, it took a few bruises, but I set the record straight.
You bruises?
I traveled to Rookworo and met with the chieftain in front of everyone. Freyr swatted at me just to see if I was real or not. I was real, and while it was a light swat, Wookiees are terribly strong. I was knocked out cold for a day. The Wookiees all thought it was quite funny.
What, you stop?
Not really. Kashyyyk is a place you can feel very small in. It felt good to devote my time to helping people and living simply.
Yeah. Shoot us from the
What can I
outside?
say? I did it all for the Wookiees. The Wookiees. Well, okay, maybe I needed some time on a quiet and remote planet, but if you ever need a friend, an incredibly strong hairball isn't a bad call.
I'm quite
I
fond of them.
suppose I am, in a way, despite the smell. For a race of gardeners, they've developed quite interestingly.
Gardeners?
You remember the alien computer, correct? Kashyyyk was meant to be an agricultural planet. The Wookiees were made for a reason, or at least that's what I'm thinking. But I'm an old man who's had a long time to develop that opinion, so don't argue with me. At any rate, we should be moving along, don't you think? If you sat around this long in the Shadowlands, attack would eat you.
Oh, he seemed a little bit more willing to talk about stuff. Alright, I think that means we need to go get him another level, but we'll go double check. Yeah, you know what? Okay, we'll just keep talking. And while we do that, we can, if he has nothing more to say, we'll probably end the video off here. He had an hour's worth of conversation.
Got something on your...
Oh! There we
Are we back to that again?
Hard to believe you left the Wookiees just for some event.
What's the best way for me to approach this? Perhaps it's time for a little story.
More story! Oh, another story.
You just keep quiet there, you. I have to put up with all your busybody questions, haven't I? Well, now you'll listen to a story, damn it. Now, where was I?
Alright, fine.
Oh,
We'll
yes,
take a
the
seat on the
story.
bed over here.
You almost made me forget about it. Nice try, but I'm not that old just yet. Now then, a young man sees a terribly venomous snake in his small village. Nervous, he watches the snake carefully until it leaves. The young man follows the snake into the forest. He clears the branches out of its path and helps it over obstacles. He even works to keep it fed.
Very long story.
Shush! Many nights pass, and still the young man continues to follow the snake. He even follows it into the sands of the great desert. In the desert, the snake eventually grows hungry. It turns and bites the young man. Its poison quickly working its way into his system. Finally, curious, the snake looks at the boy as he lays dying and asks, "Why were you foolish enough to follow me all the way out into the desert?" The boy looks back and replies, "Did I follow you? I thought I was leading you away from everyone else." And then he died.
That's supposed to be the snake?
Well, now, that's what I wanted to see for myself.
A long way to come just to risk dying. That snake, sure you that.
Well, then, let's hope you're not the young man either. I've told you before that you have a destiny before you. This does not mean, however, that your future is already written.
Oh, he's
They're
trying
not
to
the same
enforce...
thing.
He's trying to
You
change
have the
destiny.
choice of which direction you take your destiny in. More than engine-sucking Andor, certainly. But even he had a choice. So far, you've chosen to take the lighter path. Can you stay that course, even through the challenges ahead? We'll have to wait and see. I'm not here to judge you or tell you which path to take. I'm here ready to offer you my help, should you ask for it. I do that because I think it's important. More important than remaining in my home and pretending the galaxy doesn't exist. That's why I'm here.
He's here. I'm glad he came.
I'm rather glad I came too, really. You're a fine young lad. I hope things turn out well for you. Now then, I've chatted enough for one lifetime. Let's get...
Oh, there he is. Now we're done. We finished everything there is about Jolee. We get quests. Yeah. Alright. We'll try one more time, see if he has, like, anything interesting to say. But no, I think we're done with him. That's everything we had to talk about with him. He's such an interesting character. One of the older characters who's seen a lot of the world, and he gives you actual advice and problems with the Jedi. He's seen everything. He's probably been on the dark side. He's probably been on the
Got
left side.
something on your...
Yeah, do you?
Unless you're one of the local species and end up being slaughtered or enslaved. Tatooine's a nice enough desert. And that's about all I got.
Alright.
Oh, I get it.
I had nothing else to say. Don't give me that. Alright, but, I'm gonna grind some money off the thing, because once you complete Manon, I think a very important story beat happens. And another extremely important story beat happens, and then you can't go back to Dantooine. But, I'll explain, that will happen next time. So, before we go to Manon, I'm gonna complete I'm gonna do a lot of the other smaller stuff. Get all the items we can out of Dantooine. Buy everything we can before Dantooine's destroyed. So, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. I was coming to Dantooine to buy some stuff, and we ended up in a conversation with I know I ended the episode before this, but I'm gonna record this anyways. We ended up on Candace's personal quest guy. This is gonna be important, so... Know him, Candace?
He was a warrior under my command up to the Battle of Althir. But I thought...
You thought I was dead, didn't you? You thought all of us that you had sent on that attack had perished. You sent us to die in a foolish attack, while you directed your forces elsewhere. You broke from the battle plan and let us die for it, so that you could have the honor of being the first to kill the enemy commander.
Is this true, Candace?
I did what was prudent at the time. If I had not done it, the battle would have...
The battle would have been won anyway. I am tired of your excuses, Candace. I have spent years tracking you down since the clans were banished, and I will not rest until I've had my vengeance.
What are you gonna do?
I challenge you, Candace. I challenge you to fight the fight you fled that day above Althir, in the dune seas of Tatooine. I will be waiting for you. I have spread the news of the challenge since I learned you had landed on this world. All the surviving Mandalorian clans know of what I do here, and that we shall meet on Tatooine to settle this debt of vengeance once and for all. If you fail to meet me there, you shall be stripped of all honor and forever cast out of our society. It will be you and me alone in the dune seas of Tatooine. A final battle that can only end in death. I shall be waiting for you there, Candace.
Holy shit. Alright, so yeah, that's a thing. I thought we got that after the big event that happens after Manon, but I guess we get that now. Well, we will deal with that next episode. I said I was going to end things off here, so I will. We will talk to Candace on the ship next episode, and then I guess do that. Wasn't planning to, but oh well. I will see you all then. Remember to like and subscribe again. And this time, for real, bye-bye.